This scene showing Eddie considering throwing himself off the 200th floor of the building looks more staged than anything. He is right up on the edge of the balcony and his feet are halfway off. If he was having second thoughts on jumping, I don't think he would be that far off the edge, and I think it would be more likely that he accidentally fell because of a gust of wind or vertigo.
And now the only thing I'd have an impact on was the sidewalk.
It's a cool shot, but these long intros to a movie, or even a TV show, don't work anymore. It's something that is interesting the first time you see it, but you end up fast-forwarding every time you rewatch the film. And what is this supposed to represent? At this point in the movie, it's more confusing than anything.
Well, it's masquerading as a sci-fi novel, but it's really my own personal manifesto about the plight of the individual in the 21st century. And I sort of created a utopian society where...
Yeah, right. This is not some upscale lounge where there might be some conversation about writing books. This is a lower-class bar where there's no way Eddie would find himself talking to strangers about his book that he's writing. No wonder they are looking at him like he's nuts. They don't even look like they read books, much less write any. My beef with this scene is not that she is breaking up with him in a diner, but that we're to believe she would date a guy like this in the first place. She looks like she has an office job, professionally dressed, and has career goals. If she is put together this well, then she would not have picked a guy that hasn't showered in a month, dresses like a bum, and hasn't gone anywhere with his life.
I'm I was your girlfriend.
That word doesn't even begin to describe what you are to me.
Partner. Squeeze.
Paramore and Morata.
Cleaning lady. Bank.
Be that what's mine is yours too, and you know I want to share the rest of my life with you. In fact, I was thinking that
Don't
we should
propose.
Why not?
Because it worked out so well for you last time.
It's true, I'd been married once, right out of college.
She's even using his previously failed marriage against him as a reason to leave. If this is a problem now, why did she even give him a second look, much less stay with him this long?
Eddie Mora!
Yeah, right. This was not a chance encounter with Eddie. Vernon was stalking his next victim.
They've had clinical trials and it's FDA approved.
Please, the only thing less believable than Lindy hooking up with Eddie, or the chance encounter Vernon has with Eddie on the street, is that Vernon is working with a big-time pharmaceutical company on a product that allows you to use 100% of your brain that's had clinical trials and is FDA approved. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. Either this guy is scamming his in-law for money he doesn't have, or Vernon is targeting Eddie for the pharmaceutical company as part of this clinical trial.
I don't think that my life's going to take some sudden upswing into fame and fortune by taking some shiny branded designer drug.
Something wrong in law school?
How do you know I'm in law school?
People who aren't usually don't carry around dry, academically constipated books about a dead Supreme Court justice.
It's neat to see people do this trick where they take 2 seconds look at someone and can immediately detail the person's life like a scene out of Good Will Hunting. But can you imagine people trying to do this in real life and how often they get it wrong? There can be 1,000 different reasons why she's got an attitude with him and why she's carrying around a book about a dead Supreme Court justice. Can you imagine if her response was that she thinks he's a bum and she has the book because she's really into politics? How would Eddie feel about the pill he just took now?
What was this drug? I couldn't stay messy on it. I hadn't had a cigarette in 6 hours, hadn't eaten. So, abstemious and tidy? What was this? A drug for people who wanted to be more anal retentive?
Eddie would be surprisingly good at
wired,
yeah right
just
moments.
Clear. I knew what I needed to do and how to do it.
What is this? The Matrix now?
You're kidding. Words have appeared on paper.
If she knew how Eddie is, why in the world would they offer him a book deal, let alone pay him half the money up front if they didn't even think he was going to turn anything in? Or is this a front to launder money? It would make more sense if they were signing book deals without any expectation of actually selling any books so they can launder money. This is a scene straight out of a Jason Bateman film.
Okay, so what do we have here? Some unknown, untested, possibly dangerous drug scammed out of some unidentified lab somewhere, given to me by a highly unreliable guy I hadn't seen in years.
So you want some more?
Yes, definitely.
Nope. This would most definitely happen. I don't care who you are. if you just took a drug that had these kinds of results, anyone would ignore the warning signs. Yeah, right? Even after seeing this, the first thing going through Eddie's mind would be the pills. That's the only reason he is here, and he would have been more concerned that someone else found his pills instead of him. Maybe if there were other circumstances, he would have called the police first. But with this situation, those pills are the only thing Eddie is thinking about. I mean, he didn't even like Lindy. After having seen your ex-brother-in-law killed, being interrogated by the police, and thinking someone is going to kill you for the pills you just found, there's no way that after popping your first pill you decide to get a haircut, go shopping, pick up piano lessons, and start learning other languages. The first thing your altered mind is going to do is figure out how to safeguard yourself from whoever it is that killed Lindy. And how to get more of the NZT. It doesn't take a genius to know that going to this loan shark is a horrible idea, and it doesn't even make sense. Eddie said he took the last $800 from Lindy and turned it into $2,000 with the stock market. The next day, it became $7,500. Each day, he is basically tripling his money. If he only did this for 6 days, he would have double what he is asking Gennady for, and without the danger. He probably spent more time looking for a loan shark and setting up the meat than he would have just tripling his money each day.
We got you a meeting with Carl Van Loon.
Carl Van Loon wants to meet you.
Yeah, right. Eddie's been taking these pills nonstop, learning anything and everything he comes in contact with, and at his peak he decides to call this woman back. She's already proven she can't be trusted. When he had no money, she wanted nothing to do with him. At least if he is going to be with someone who just wants his money and fame, he could start with someone new that might not leave him if everything went bust.
Are you really implying that you have some sort of ultimate formula?
I get that this guy is Van Loon's right-hand guy and probably here to play devil's advocate, but they wouldn't be having this meeting unless they thought he actually had a secret formula for making money. Eddie's friend who set up the meeting was adamant that he's gotta have something special for Van Loon because Van Loon doesn't meet with just anybody. So this whole encounter between the right-hand man and Eddie is over the top. Is this really the first time Eddie's decided to look through Lindy's book to get more information about NZT? Not once up to this point has he thought about who might be looking for the pills or how to get more. Nothing.
Oh, shit. Listen. Okay.
Don't forget about me, huh?
Geez, Eddie's been taking so many pills he's a literal crack addict. Supposedly finding the secret formula for hacking the stock market, and somehow forgetting he owed Gennady $100,000. This isn't a slip-up or mishap. I don't know what this was. Eddie's made millions and didn't remember for a moment that one of his biggest threats could be fixed with a measly $100,000.
You got it?
Yeah. There's someone following me.
Yeah, right. It's hard to believe that this creepy old guy is all over town chasing and killing people, breaking into homes and trashing them, and he's just not stopped, and the cops are never called on him. He's committed so many crimes in such a short period of time, you'd think there'd be a larger police task force in search of him.
Well, can I combine these ingredients in the same exact quantity? Yes, but the exact method of delivery to the brain, darts at a dartboard.
This genius had time to fly all over the world, break the stock market, make his ex fall in love with him, and score a meeting with one of the world's richest men. But this is the first time he thought about building a lab to Heisenberg the NZT.
Right away, it was obvious he was on NZT.
Next week, I'm gonna need 20 pills.
Next week you can go fuck yourself. Not that you'd feel anything.
Gennady's guys have poor judgment here. Granted, they probably aren't the brightest, but they saw Eddie walking up with 2 of his own bodyguards that are much larger and look like they mean business. And what were they thinking? The bosses are exchanging words with each other, and the goons thought they needed to stick up for Gennady's honor or something. What if this broke out into one big brawl in the middle of a busy street in the higher price section of the city? Maybe just let the 2 talk it out until the boss tells them to do something. As paranoid as Eddie is about safeguarding his stash and knowing that this is all he has until he can replicate some of his own, there's no way he would be walking around with all of it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he split it up and had stashes all over the place just in case he was shaken down or his apartment got tossed. But why would he walk into the police station with a bag full of unknown drugs that you're about to stand in a lineup for and willingly give the stash to your lawyer that you don't even know? And the creepy old guy strikes again. Or was this Gennadi's guys? It's not real clear, but I'm gonna go with the creepy old guy because he's the one been running all over town killing people. This would be the perfect time if Eddie had a small stash of NZT in his apartment instead of keeping it all together. There would not have been a panic or wasted time looking for one last pill when he could have been preparing for the invasion. And how did Gennadi get through the security? Eddie paid $8.5 million for this ultra-secure apartment. The whole building had paranoid millionaires, and Gennadi somehow ripped through the security like it was papier-mâché and then used a saw to cut through the front door within minutes. Eddie should get a refund. It's an obvious bait and switch if you ask me.
I didn't matter now. But he did not appreciate that Morris Brandt had kept the pills for himself.
Well, since Atwood is dead and Eddie doesn't matter, you may want to get the creepy old guy's number just in case he needs him in the future. You never know. Besides, he did kill the bodyguards, and he seems very capable at his job even if he is leaving dead bodies all over town.
We know you can't get any more.
You sure about that?
They shut down your lab this morning.
A hidden gem in the movie right here. I think Eddie was a little nervous about things, but this was the exact moment when he knew he had Van Loon. This look right here after hearing Van Loon shut down his lab that morning. He didn't say labs, he said lab, singular. And Eddie knew he had outsmarted everyone. If you liked the video and are ready to see more, please give it a like and subscribe for more.